Hi everybody, this is Crystal. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a stitch tutorial. This is the Vine Stitch. It's a very pretty stitch. It's not hard to do at all. Looks hard. It's not hard though. If you could do the basic stitches, I'll show you how to do the rest. So it does look the same on both sides, as you can see. And it's a very easy one row repeat. Easy one row repeat. Oh, the things you could do with that. So I'm going to tell you, as far as it being a yarn eater or not, this swatch that I made is 14 inches by 12 inches, and it took 5 ounces of yarn out of a 10-ounce ball. So it took half a ball of yarn to make a swatch sample 14 by 12. So it is a bit of a yarn eater, but I think it's worth it. It's so pretty. Do you guys want to get started? Oh, let's go ahead and do it, and I'll show you the yarn that I used. Okay, so for this particular tutorial, the yarn that I am using is Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. It is a 100% acrylic, medium weight number 4, and the color I'm using is called True Blue. Of course, you can use any yarn that you'd like, depending on what you're making. And for this tutorial, I'm using a size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. So this stitch is done in a multiple of 6 plus 5. Which means, depending on what you're making, if you're making a scarf, a blanket, whatever, you need to chain in multiples of 6, 12, 18, and so on and so on and so on, until you get it to the length that you want it to be. And then once you get it to the length that you want it to be, you add 5 more to your base chain. So a multiple of 6 plus 5. And once you get your multiple of 6 plus 5, we're going to start row 1, and we're going to do a double crochet in the 4th chain from our hook. So we don't count the one that's on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that 4th chain we're going to do a double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet into the next 3 chains. So there's 1, 2, and 3. So if you stop and look real quick, you'll have 5 double crochets. So this chain here on the end counts as a double crochet. So you did your 3 plus the one that we did in the 4th stitch from the hook, and then the chain 3 here, or the chain at the end, counts as a double. So there's 5 right there. You can see them. Now we're going to go ahead and start the repeat of row 1, and we are going to chain 1, skip 1, and put 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to repeat that again. We're going to chain 1, skip 1, and 1 double crochet into the next 5 again. So we're going to repeat the pattern of 5 double crochets, and then chain 1, skip 1, 5 double crochets, chain 1, and skip 1, until we get to the last 4 stitches of our row. So there's 5, chain 1, skip 1, and repeat it. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 1, and I have 4 stitches that remain after my last 5 double crochets. I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, and put a double crochet in the remaining 3. Just like that. So you'll only have 3 double crochets on that end, and then you'll chain 1, skip 1, and put a double crochet in the remaining 3. So And that's what row 1 looks like. And now we're going to go ahead and start row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now we're going to work a double crochet right back into this very first stitch here. And we need to work 5 double crochets in a row, so that counts as number 1. And then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. There's 2. We're going to double crochet into the next stitch. There's 3, and then we're going to double crochet into this chain 1 space here. That's 4, and then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch, and that makes 5. So we got 5 double crochets in a row. Now we're going to do a puff, and we're going to work it into this space right here. So we're going to yarn over, go in to that space, and draw up a loop, and we want to do that 4 times total, so that would be number 1. Yarn over again, go into the same space, draw up a loop, it's 2. Yarn over, go into the same space, draw up a loop, that's 3. One more time, yarn over, go into the same space, draw up a loop, that's 4. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and go through 8 loops. Like that, and then you got 2 loops there. I'm going to yarn over and go through those 2 loops, just like that. So that's your puff. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches. So remember this one right here kind of hides under the puff, but we're skip that one, skip, and in the next one we're going to do a double crochet, and we're going to do 5 in a row again. So there's 1. There's 2, there's 3, and then into the chain 1 space is 4, and then the next space is 5. And now again we're going to do the puff just like we did right down here into this space. So we're going to yarn over and go into the space, draw up a loop. We're going to do that 4 times total. That would be number 1. There's number 2. There's number 3. There's number 4. You'll have 9 loops. You want to yarn over and go through the first 8. And then the remaining 2 like that, we're going to yarn over and go through those 2, just like that. And this is what we're going to repeat until we get near the end of the row. So we're going to skip these 2 stitches here, 1, 2, and into the next one we're going to do a double crochet. We need to do 5 in a row. 1, 2, 3, the 4th one goes into the chain space, 4, and then 5, and again we're going to puff into the space. So we're going to yarn over, go in, draw up a loop 4 times. That was number 1. There's number 2. Three, and there's 4. 9 loops. Yarn over and go through all of them but 1. Here's the one that you didn't go into. You still got 1 on your hook. Yarn over and go through the remaining 2, just like that. And then we're going to repeat this pattern till we get to the end. Again, you skip these 2, 1, 2, and double crochet 5 in a row again. So I'll meet up with you after we do the puff in our last spot, and I'll see you there. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 2, and I puffed here in this last chain space, and I have 5 stitches here that remain. So I want to skip these 2 and put 1 double crochet into the remaining 3 stitches. Remember, in that last one is that chain, so just go into the top of it, and that will end row 2. Now row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn, and row 3 is the repeat row for the whole pattern, so it's very similar to what we just did. So we're going to start off, and we need to do 5 double crochets in a row, starting with this very first one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 5. Now we need to puff. Now there's no chain space to puff in. What we do is we puff in the space where we skip the stitches from the previous row. So it's kind of like right on the next to the puff from the previous row. Just yarn over and go into this space from the skip stitches. Drop a loop. Do that 4 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 loops. Yarn over and go through all of them but 1, and then yarn over and go through the remaining 2. And we repeat again. We need to do skip 2 and 5 double crochets in a row. So remember, sometimes the first one hides here, so there's 1 here and 2. Go into the next one and double, and we need to do 5 in a row. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's 5. And then we're going to do our puff, and we drop down and do it in the space where we skipped the 2 stitches before. Nine loops, yarn over and go through all of them but 1, and then yarn over and go through the remaining 2, and repeat again. So you got your 5 doubles here from the previous row. Skip these 2, skip, skip, and double crochet into the next 5. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we puff right down here in the row below where we skip those spaces. Just like that. So we're going to go ahead and repeat this pattern, and I'll meet back up with you after we do the last puff of our row. Alright, I've made it to the end of row 3. We're going to end it the same way we ended row 2. So here's our 5 doubles here from the previous row. Skip these 2 and 1 double crochet in the remaining 3. And that is how you end row 3. And row 3 is the repeat row. So we're just going to keep repeating row 3. So again, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And we need to do a double crochet into the first 5 stitches, starting with this very first one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is row 4 that we're on, and we're just repeating row 3. So again, you just back it up, and then this space here for the previous row where we skipped our stitches, that's where we're going to puff. So like that. Again, you find your 5 doubles. Remember that one kind of hides behind the puff. Skip 2 of them. And in the next one, we need to do 5 doubles in a row again. Like that. And then we're going to puff right here in the row below in the space that we skipped. So we're just repeating row 3 now for row 4. So I'm going to continue repeating this until I get to the last puff of the row, and we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to end it one more time. Alright, I'm coming to the end of row 4, which is the repeat of row 3, and I just did a puff, and we have these 5 doubles here. Skip these 2 and put a double crochet in the remaining 3 stitches, and that will end row 4. Now you just keep repeating that, which is a repeat of row 3, and you just keep repeating row 3 until you get your piece as big as you want it to be. And after a few repeats, it'll start to look like this. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. That is a beautiful, beautiful piece of fabric. The things that you could do with this, and remember, it does look the same on both sides, which is always a plus. So I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial, and I hope that you were able to follow along. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more. If you look in the description box, there'll be a link right at the beginning of over 1,000 crochet tutorials, all free for you to enjoy. Hit that like button and a share if you found this useful. Also below in the description box is my Facebook page. If you make something out of this, you can show me what you make. I'd really like to see it. So until next time, have a good day. Stay safe. Bye, guys.